Okay. Let me see. Testing? Yep, it's working. Okay.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're starting a little late, but I do want to get started. And my reading for today is going to come from Leviticus 14. And I'm going to begin with verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, and this is about rites and sacrifices for the cleansing of a leper. So leprosy was a big deal back then. And of course, back then there was no cure as they understood it. But this is the information that God gave to Moses about how to treat a leper. It says, this shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest. The priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over running water. And he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into an open field. And he that is cleansed shall wash his clothes, and shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. So, the reason I picked this reading was because it mentions cedar wood and hyssop particularly. I have cedar wood oil at home. It's very good for inflammation. It's an antimicrobial. We even see that in the scriptures, and hyssop also is also an antimicrobial, and you can get hyssop oil. So these are all things that God made particularly for cleansing individuals. So, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is oils and those things in nature that can help us to take care of our own ailments. But before we start, I do want to begin with prayer. So if we could bow our heads. Father in heaven, we are so thankful that you are a God that is concerned about our health and our welfare, and that you provided within your nature everything that we would need to treat simple diseases and simple ailments. And we just thank you, Lord, that this knowledge is having a resurgence in our world today, and that we are learning more and more about what is out there that's natural that we can use. But we also thank you for the wisdom that you've given physicians and scientists that have come up with ways of treating profound illness, and those things that just salves cannot treat, such as broken legs and so forth. So we just thank you, Lord, that in every way you've provided everything that is possible that we would need. And we just ask that you would bless our meeting today, and that you would give us a special outpouring of your Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You say Leviticus 1?
Leviticus 14, and you begin with 1, and I think it was 1 through 8, if I remember right. So, today I'm going to begin by saying that we've provided samples here, except for these. These are not for passing out. These are just mine. Except for these 2 I want to give to somebody. This is cayenne, and this is turmeric. I can't use those. They give me a really bad effect. So somebody can have those. I will tell you that when I purchased them, they had expiration, used by, blah, blah, blah. So they may say that, but they've been kept in a dark cupboard, so as far as their decomposition, I don't think it's that great. So I'm going to start at this end of the table. This is charcoal. These are full of charcoal, so if anybody would like those. I originally wanted to put a nominal price on this stuff, but I was telling Randy, I forgot to get cash out to make change for people. So if you don't have a checkbook and can't write me a check, you can write down what you owe me, and we'll settle it up someday. But for these samples, it's only like whatever you want to donate, because other than the cost of the container, and I get that in bulk, so they're not all that expensive. So this is charcoal and this is flax. Now remember when we did our poultices, we talked about the fact that you grind the flax. you don't use the whole flax. You don't want to grind it ahead of time. So I went out and bought, this is whole flax. So if you're interested in getting the whole flax, I have a jar of that. I have the charcoal. And to grind your own, all you have to do is get one of these little coffee grinders. I think this was $9 on Amazon. So you can grind your own. That way it's fresh when you use it. Did you have something to say?
I grind mine every morning. That I put flaxseed in just a
Blender?
Call those little bullet blenders or something like that for about 3 seconds, and it's ready.
Yeah.
And it's
This was
healthier.
cheaper. This was cheaper than a bullet. And my bullet broke. So, or the other thing is you can just use a pestle.
But to be honest with you, though, if you're not using this for medicinal purposes, I want that to.
Sorry.
If you're not using this for medicinal purposes, it's all right to have it ground up in advance, because for the poultice you don't need the medicinal purpose,
value, yeah.
right? That you're using it for the gel, for the holding the poultice together, for it to be able to be used further, so that you're not using as much charcoal to make the poultice. So that's just a thought.
This is comfrey, and we can thank Jane for the comfrey, because she supplied the comfrey leaves to me, and I made this comfrey salve. Comfrey is excellent for, it's actually called bone knit, because it's very good for aches and pains and so forth. And I use it with the colloidal silver. This is a BioLife colloidal silver. If you're going to get silver, you want to get the BioLife version because it's positive ions. So I just put a little bit of this on my hand, a couple drops of the colloidal silver, and I put it in my carrier oil. I use coconut oil, but there are lots of carrier oils. I mean, even castor oil could be a carrier oil. Olive oil could be a carrier oil. Carrier oils, all they do is give you a greater ability to spread it in an area. So I just use a little bit of this on my fingers, a couple drops of this, and a couple drops of this, and I put it on my shoulder, and it's kind of like a treatment salve that helps with your muscle aches and so forth.
And joints too, right?
Yeah, joints. And you'll notice I made this different than this. This is a cooked recipe, and this is not. This was a recipe from you put it in a jar with olive oil or some other type of carrier oil, and let it sit for several weeks, and then you make the salve. Now, personally, I like doing it this way better, because I had to remember to go back in 2 or 3 weeks and get the leaves out. But they're both just as good, even though the color is different. And also, you can also take the comfrey leaves. I dried these, crushed them in the pestle thing, and use that as in a poultice. And it'll help with pain relief as well. Do not make a tea out of it. Comfrey is not good for ingestion, but it's good for application. And if somebody wants to take a sample of that, they can. And then the last thing I have here is little jars of castor oil. Now, castor oil is very easy to get. You can get it at Walmart, but I will say that when you purchase it from Walmart, it's in a plastic container. And Glory tells me that it's better if it's in a glass container. And what's the reason for that?
Because the plastic leaches chemicals.
Okay.
And so I store my food in glass containers because of the plastic. I don't like the plastic leaching onto my food. So that's the reason.
And usually, and so I bought castor oil that was in a jar, a glass jar, and that's how I made these little samples. And there is an eyedropper in all these have droppers in them, so it makes it easier for you to use them. And I brought my dehydrator, so you can see that you don't need to have some big dehydrator. You can use one of these to dehydrate any of the herbs that you're wanting to use, and then once they're dehydrated, you can just crush them up, or if they're a little tough, you can crush them up in the pestle. So let's see. Also, I have witch hazel, another thing that you can get pretty easily at Walmart. Mm-hmm. And maybe your parents talked about witch hazel. But it works great for skin irritations of any kind. I had Jim use it recently on his poison ivy. But it's very good for any kind of skin irritations. And I do have sheets here with the information. If you'd like to get a sheet and put it in your purple folder, you can do so. Another substance is DMSO, and Glory's going to talk a little bit more to you about DMSO. She has a big glass jar, and I'm sure she doesn't like the idea of the plastic. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I got it at TSC. TSC, the Tractor Supply Company, because this is used a lot for cows and horses for irritations around their legs, their hooves, and so forth. So the reason I like this is that, oops, sorry, hair. You'll notice that that big jar is what hers is. That's a liquid. This is a gel. So they've suspended the DMSO in some type of a gel. I probably read this and know what it was, but I don't remember it now. And I like this because when I've used this, and then I will use the copiaba oil and the peppermint oil, and it does the same thing. It makes a great salve to put on joints and so forth.
So in addition to what she said, that she uses the comfrey and the colloidal silver and the little bit of carrier oil. Once she does that, if she put this on there, basically what that's going to do is enhance the comfrey. It's going to make it stronger. That's the purpose of what DMSO is. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But
yes,
she could put this gel right on that shoulder afterwards. Or I think some people, what they do is they put the gel on, let it dry, and then do the treatment of the comfrey and the other stuffs, because it just enhances the
and that's one of its roles. So in some ways, you need to be careful when you use DMSO. They always recommend that you have that you've cleaned the area, because you don't want to. There's I don't know if it was Dana that I heard it from, or Barbara O'Neill, but there was a situation where a woman took a long soaking bath in lavender to relax and so forth, and when she got out, she put some DMSO on and she collapsed right away. She fainted. And it's because that DMSO enhanced all that lavender that she had all over her whole body. So it's going to enhance whatever you're using. It's going to make it better. And I can tell you that I really love it because, and they say that it can burn your skin the first time you use it, but what I like is it makes it feel like icy hot. And I like that.
Can DMSO be used internally in any way?
Yes, it can be, but you got to be very careful. The question was, can it be used internally? And it can be. So you know what? Since we're on DMSO, let me just talk about what I printed off. And I have this paper for you guys. And I want to say to begin with that I did at the bottom. I have a link to a DMS store, which is where I purchased this DMSO. And I also have a YouTube video to watch. And
please watch it.
Yes, her name's Dana
Kaselchen.
Kaselchen. I can never pronounce Dana's last name. But her YouTube website is Closure for Jesus, and she has a multitude of different videos with herbs and just some of the stuff that we've been learning here.
And that's where I started getting interested in all this, was by listening to her. She's the one, I think I've told you guys about using the usnea and how it actually regrew the ends of a man's fingers. She's the one that was talking about that, and she had the man in the audience, held up his hand, complete fingers. So yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And listening to her is amazing.
She also, I also watched a video about some dentist that she was with interviewing, and he has some kind of product that grew her gums back. So you know how our gums kind of start to recede. So I don't remember what that is, but I'm just throwing that out there, that's just another thing that you can look for on her Closure for Jesus. That's her website. I mean, her YouTube website, Closure for Jesus. I have specifically what I have on here is the link that she speaks about DMSO, but it will take you then to her website, her YouTube site, and then you can just do your own scrolling and searching and, watch various things that she has.
She was listening to it for a short time this morning. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Dana's. I watched Barbara.
Yeah. So, anyway, how to use DMSO safely. Consult a healthcare professional first. So it's like cover our butts. Never use without proper guidance. Prepare the area. Wash your hands and the skin thoroughly with soap and water. So no lotions, oils, or chemicals nearby, because as we said, it enhances whatever it gets into. It enhances, and then if it touches you topically, then it's going to go into your system. So as dangerous as it could be, it's also a very safe product. You just have to use it cautiously and make sure that you follow the directions. I can see Sineada's like, nope, I'm not going to deal with this. Use clean gloves if possible. Apply a thin layer to the affected skin area with the clean cotton ball or gauze. Allow it to dry. It will absorb quickly. Typically, it's applied 1 to 2 times daily. After application, avoid touching anything. Common uses of DMSO is to reduce inflammation and pain in the muscles and joints. Sometimes it's used topically for arthritis or sports injuries. Experimental uses include wound healing and reducing scar tissue. Now, DMSO is actually in a lot of products. I don't know. I don't have a list of products that it's in, but it's in a lot of products.
And it is a product of the wood and paper industry. They discovered it through working with they had this sticky substance left over after in lumber mills and so forth, and discovered that what it actually is like an antifreeze for trees. And then they discovered its medicinal value.
Okay. So then
I will tell you that its only approved use by the FDA is for installation into the urinary bladder. They use it for interstitial cystitis, which is what we got.
Yep.
And so I'm sure I had this treatment, I'm sure, but they use it they install it, or they put it into your urinary bladder to kind of clean it out. And so if it's approved for that purpose internally, then how dangerous could it be? You know what I'm saying? But the FDA has not tested it for approval in all those other areas. So.
Well, I can also tell you that Deanna was getting sick, and she shared an experience of getting sick, and she drank some vitamin C, and she wanted it to work quickly. She didn't want to get sick. So she drank some vitamin C, and then she drank some DMSO. I don't remember how much. I'm just sharing with you, what she did and how it can work. So it enhanced that vitamin C, and she didn't get sick. She felt it coming on, but she didn't get sick. So go ahead. What's your question?
Is that in the way she took it internally, like in just the liquid there as opposed to the gel?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Took it this way.
Okay.
This is where she gets her DMSO from this company. And that's why I purchased it from this company. And then I put this DMSO in these jars. I sterilized these jars and then put a little bit in there because I wanted to give it to family. And then I thought I'll just bring it here and just share with you what I've done. I want to read this. When considering DMSO for therapeutic use, it's crucial to select a pharmaceutical grade product. And that's what this is, a pharmaceutical grade. And important safety, consult a healthcare professional, avoid contaminants, ensure the application area is free from lotions and oils. Also dilute it. Depending on the intended use, it should be diluted appropriately. For instance, 25% concentration is commonly used for osteoarthritis treatments. Now, I believe that's already diluted.
Yes.
That's why it's in a gel.
It's in some kind of a gel.
Whatever kind of gel that she has it.
I don't know, a gelatin substance.
What would we dilute it?
So if you had because this is pure. So you would dilute it in, you can dilute it in a carrier oil. You can dilute it in sterile water. That's what I believe Dana did when she drank it. She put it in the sterile water and just drank it down. So you can.
You want to have at least 99 to 99.5% purity.
Yeah, this, in other words, if this gets, I think this freezes. This freezes. And that's how you know it's pure. If it freezes, it's pure. If you put it in the freezer and it doesn't freeze up, it's not pure. So that's the other thing, how you know that you have a good product. Apply a thin layer to the affected area. Allow it to absorb fully before covering or applying other products. So you would use the DMSO first. Typically, it can be used 1 to 2 times a daily, and avoid eyes and mucous membranes, it says. Keep DMSO in a tightly sealed container. Shelf life unopened can last up to 2 years. Once opened, it's advisable to use within a year and store in a cool, dry place. Final thoughts. While DMSO has potential therapeutic benefits, it's essential to approach its use with caution. Use as directed, monitor reactions, educate yourself. And so at the bottom, that's why I put the link to Dana's video. Now, with that being said, if you email her, she also will send you it's a PDF file on DMSO, and it's like almost 100 pages. I wasn't going to print that off, but it's full of information. So if anybody wants it, I do have it. I can email it to you if you guys want it to look it over. And it gives, there's lots of uses, just a lot of information about DMSO. So anyway, that's my understanding, and that's all I know on it. I don't want to act like I know more or pretend I know more, because I don't. And that's why I left the website, so that you guys could do your own research on it. And in the future, if I do more research and then I learn more, then I'll share more. But right now, that's what I have on DMSO.
Okay, and the final thing that I have is herbs. And like I said, most of these are expired by, if you go by what they said when I purchased it. The one thing I do want to bring out about herbs, I guess, when I originally found out about it, I just started ordering all kinds, and that's why I have so many. But the only stuff that I've used to this point is the mullein leaf and the lobelia. So, and Glory put me on to this. Megan was really sick last winter, and she said, well, make some mullein tea. And that's, I don't know if you guys if you have a tea, something that you can make your own teas with. But you just open this up, stick a teaspoon or so of the mullein leaf in it. You're going to use very little of the lobelia, and then you can put like lemon oil, her lemon oil, or they do make an orange oil also, so that the tea tastes good. Put a little honey in it if they want it sweet, and it's really great for dealing with upper respiratory infection. I would encourage anybody to have the mullein leaf and the lobelia in your home, and you can get it online very, very easily. It comes in silver. It comes like this in silver bags, and it depends on whatever size you buy. This happens to be organic peppermint leaf, and I have a lot of that as well. So if anybody wants a little bit of the peppermint leaf, you can make tea out of it. Peppermint is very good, and she'll be talking probably about peppermint oil. Peppermint is very good as a, help me, I'm mentally freezing here.
Yeah. Well, here, let's get our little handy dandy helper. It's cooling, digestion, head tension.
Yeah.
Peppermint.
I'll take peppermint oil and just put it on here when I have a headache, or put it like here and put it across here, and your headache just melts away.
Yes.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And the let's see.
It's not diluted at all? when you put the peppermint oil on?
No, I don't. I just put it on my finger. And
Yeah, I do too.
another thing that she doesn't have here, I don't think, that I have started using is rosemary oil.
I don't.
Rosemary oil behind the ear. It's supposed to help with the ear ringing and also with memory. So just a little every day, and
Do you have some?
I mean,
No, I don't have.
I have my own.
I have
but
some
yeah.
at home. I didn't bring it.
Do I have ear ringing? Yes, I do.
I do too.
Just in one ear. It's very annoying. So I think that's all that I have. If you have any questions about my section, just ask me.
What about your books? Did you want to say anything?
Oh, yes, I do have these books, and I had brought these books out before when I had my talk previously, and I probably will redo that talk next year. But The Lost Book on Herbal Remedies and The Forager's Guide to Wild Foods. Both of these books are excellent, and I really encourage you to get those if you can online. I also have the Autoimmune Plant-Based Cookbook, and of course I'm going to push Counsels on Diets and Foods. But I do want to tell people, for people that only shop locally, I just picked this book up last week at TSC, Tractor Supply. It's the Herbalist Bible. It's not from a Christian standpoint, but it's really interesting because when you open it, this side was by the original contributor, which was John Parkinson. He lived in the 1700s.
She was trying to get a picture.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. He lived in the 1700s, so this side is the way he wrote it in Old English because he was English. So it's you read it. That's where because we read from right to left. So I started reading this, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if this book's going to do me any good. But then over here is the way we talk, the same language. These were his original sketches, and this is an actual photograph. So if you're out in the woods, you can identify it. So this is an excellent guide to use also, and it was only $16, so it was relatively cheap for such a nice picture book.
Yeah, that's really neat. So. Okay, I will continue on the the oils, essential oils. I particularly like doTERRA oils, and the reason is because they're certified pure tested grade. They call it CPTG, certified pure tested grade. Now, I want to say this also right up. If there's a supplemental facts on it, on any essential oil that you purchase, if it has supplemental facts on it, it's safe for ingestion. So it's safe to use. Tea tree oil or melaleuca does not have that. So they say that it's not as safe to use internally. Lavender, the same. Well, it has a supplemental fact on here, but they say that you shouldn't use lavender internally. They say you shouldn't use melaleuca, but I have.
Yeah.
I've used melaleuca. I've used melaleuca and lavender internally. You just probably need to just be careful. Peppermint. This is peppermint. Oregano. And I have copaiba. And I have a blend here, Breathe. And Digest Zen. I have some rollers. But I want to talk about their uses first. So aromatic use. Use in a well-ventilated area. Avoid diffusing near pets or infants for long periods. Inhaling or diffusing essential oils into the air has medicinal properties. You can do it with a diffuser, which I meant to bring my diffuser. You can get a diffuser at Walmart. I mean, you can get one at any store. Just add some water, add some essential oils, turn it on, and that fills the room with fragrance. Inhale directly from the bottle, or you can place a few drops on a cotton ball or in your hands and breathe it in. Sometimes I have even taken some essential oils and put them right here on me so that I can do like that if I need to get the aromatic therapy part of the essential oil. Topical uses. Always dilute with the carrier oil, especially for sensitive skin or children. Applying essential oils directly to the skin, you can dilute with the carrier oil. You rub on areas like the neck. So I rub it on the back of my neck. I rub it on my wrist. I rub it on the bottom of my feet, especially before bed. And, put some socks on. But with that being said, I have done it even in the morning before I start my day. If I want to get the medicinal properties from a specific oil, I will rub it on the bottom of my feet and then, put my socks on. You can rub it on the affected areas. You can use rollers or blends, massage onto the targeted areas. Randy.
Can DMSO be a carrier or something along with that?
I have used DMSO on my feet as well. So I put the DMSO on my feet, weight it, and then use the carrier oil. Then use the essential oil in a carrier oil. And for me, what I do, just because it's simple, is I will just take a carrier oil, put it in my hand, drop a few drops of whatever oil it is that I want to use, and rub it around, and then rub it on my feet, all over my feet. So that's how I do it. But you can use the DMSO if you want it to get more of the effects of the essential oil that you're choosing. Oh, wait a second. I forgot to say, the purpose of the aromatic use is to boost mood. When you have the diffusing in the air, it can boost your mood. It reduces stress, anxiety. It increases mental clarity. It purifies the air. It can support your respiratory function as well, just by, breathing in these essential oils. For topically, it relieves muscle tension. It supports skin health. It provides localized benefits. It can boost your mood depending on the oil that you're choosing. It promotes relaxation, and it also increases mental clarity when you use essential oils topically. Internal use, they say only ingest oils that are labeled as safe for internal use. And so that's why I specifically said, if it has a supplemental fact, it is safer to use than one that doesn't. And that's why I like doTERRA oils, because they also are certified pure tested grade oils. It's a very strong oil compared to oils, compared to other brands. What'd you say?
Compared to Walmart?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you that they cost more, but you're getting a pure oil, and you don't have to use as much either. So I say you get what you pay for. You can go with something cheaper, and you're going to get something cheaper, right? That's how it's going to be used. Internal use. Okay. Add 1 to 2 drops to water. You can place in a veggie capsule. I forgot to bring my veggie capsules. I have veggie capsules, and I have taken a veggie capsule and I have dumped some oils in it that I've wanted to use for medicinal purposes, and then put the cap on it, and then just taken the capsule. You can't make them in advance because the essential oil is so strong that it will eat the capsule, right? It dissolves it. So what is the purpose of internally? It supports your digestive system, your immune system, and your cellular health. They also cleanse the body. They provide antioxidant support and they can be used for food additives. A lot of times people will use oregano in their spaghetti sauce. You can use peppermint in your tea. It just has a lot of
Lemon and orange you can use in tea.
Lemon and orange you can use in tea, and just lemon. People like to drink lemon water. I have put lemon in my water a lot. I do that. It just is a purifier. It says internal use only with specific oils that are labeled as safe for ingestion, and this method remains controversial outside of doTERRA and similar companies. It should be done with care and ideally under professional guidance. But if you're doing your own study and use your own judgment. So I want to talk specifically about oregano, some of the benefits. It supports the respiratory health and boosts mood. You can add a few drops to cleansing solutions for antimicrobial effects. So, oregano, a high school student took oregano and had a germ. I can't remember what the germ was, something, I think nasal. It was some type of bacteria that was in the petri dish. And he put oregano in there, and the oregano killed everything that was in there. And so then the teacher said, well, no, you need to redo that and use less oil because you kind of used too much or whatever. So he used less, and it still killed everything that was in there. And so I wish I could find that video because it was just like it was like a short, and it was this kid giving his experience of his high school science project.
So he did the whole hypothesis, proof, test, and everything right there.
Yeah, right there. Yes, and it killed everything. So oregano is used to kill. It can kill fungus. It can kill parasites. It can kill viruses. It can kill bacteria. It can kill yeast. It kills a lot of stuff. And so because of that, it is one of the major oils that I have my grandkids using. I have my kids putting this on my grandkids whenever they start to get a sore throat or chest congestion. I tell them right away, put that oregano on there. Now my grandkids say, but Gran, it's stinky. And the one morning my grandson woke up and he goes, oh, I got a sore throat. And they're prone for strep. And I said, well, let's get the oregano. He goes, Gran, I don't want to go to school smelling, though. Can we wait till? And I said, well, do you want to go to school smelling and be able to keep going to school and go to your practice and everything? Or do you want to wait and then you end up with strep throat? So you're only going to stink for a little bit. Okay. So I just lathered him up and with the oregano oil, and he came home and he was feeling great. Because I know had he not, he would have been sick, Randy.
And you used a carrier oil with
I
it?
did. For him, I used coconut oil. So my daughter, I finally gave her the roller. But I give this to a lot of parents. This is the pure oil. And I tell them, just mix it with some coconut oil. Just put some coconut oil in your hand, put some drops on that, and rub it all over. You can rub it all over the body. And my daughter has done it several times with her kids, and they just get better. They get better a lot quicker. So
Oregano is also a hot oil, so
Yes.
there is some caution in using it because it is a hot oil. After you apply it, it's going to heat up.
Right. It's a hot oil. That's why for sure oregano is one that you do want to use with a carrier oil. I know somebody that thought, like, oh, this is feeling good. She had some sores in her mouth. Oh, this is feeling good. So she put oregano oil in there. She goes, oh, yeah, it's taking care of it. And she kept dumping the oregano oil in there. And then she burnt her throat and esophagus. And, yeah, it was a bad deal. So then what I did for that person was I used hot and warm on their throat, on their neck, hot and warm compresses, charcoal. I mean, there were a lot of things that we did to finally remedy that. But it is a hot oil. I will take oregano and I will touch my finger to the jar and I will stick it on the back of my throat and then put some water in and gargle And I like how that it kind of cleanses my throat and helps me to prevent me from getting sick. I have been using it also. I don't know if people have noticed that I don't cough as much as I used to. I mostly cough when I sit or lay down, but I even have coughed. I'm coughing a lot less, and I think it's because I've been pretty faithful with using the oregano that way. Again, it's just I'm just touching. I'm not dumping. There, so just by touching, it's almost like a diluted effect. I have my grandson came home from their beach trip. They went up to Lake Michigan and they were on the sand dunes and everything. And he came home and his body was just full of this rash. Like, I don't know if he was having a reaction to the sand or if he had little bites of something that was all over him. But my son-in-law actually sent me a text. But before I had a chance to reply, my reply was to put oregano on him. And she said, I already did. He's in bed. And I said, okay. So the next day, totally clear. He was completely clear. So whatever it was, it just cleared right up. Oregano is one of my favorite essential oils because of everything that it's known to kill. Coretta.
So once you gargle, do you ingest?
Yes, once I gargle, then I swallow the water. Yep.
Okay, so last night, Wycliffe was not feeling fine. I told him to touch the oregano and he put in his throat. And this morning he says he was able to sleep and the painful feeling had gone away. But last night it was really hot. He was complaining, burning his throat and everything. Titi also had it, but Titi puked.
Okay. Because she with the oil.
Fine this morning. Yeah,
With the oil. Okay. So Coretta just shared that her husband had a sore throat last night, and he did that. He put the oregano on the back of his throat, gargled a little bit, swallowed, and he said he slept well, and then he woke up and he is feeling like a new person. So they did it on their daughter also, but she ended up vomiting from it. But I mean, it just could have. Yeah, exactly. It just could have helped her to get out whatever she had in her that was making it worse potentially. Because a lot of times that's what happens is these remedies, all of these remedies, a lot of times they will help our body to expel, sometimes through vomiting, to get rid of the whatever it is that's causing us discomfort. So yeah, oregano is one that I give to parents that have little ones. I just say, here, you need this, and you guys have used it a lot, right, Coretta?
Yes.
And you guys have found lots of benefits from it. Yes, right. So anyway, it's very potent and strong. Always dilute before putting it on your skin because it is a hot oil. And it will burn. Avoid internal use unless under professional guidance, not recommended for pregnant women or children under 10. So the other thing that I just thought about is oregano has been known to remove warts and skin tags and things like that. I know somebody that had like a little growth, on their eye right here. And so I was telling them, just touch it. Don't, be careful because it's so close to the eye. Well, you know what? They didn't listen and took it and touched it here, and the oil dropped into their eye, and they almost lost their sight. But fortunately, they went to the eye doctors, and they were able to save that person's sight. So it is it's a hot oil. It can be very dangerous, but it's very effective. So if you use it appropriately, you're going to get a lot of the medicinal properties out of it.
And it's important to note that all those medications that your doctor gives you, and you think, oh, my doctor's giving me, it's got to be good, they're toxic to you also. Were it not for your liver to detoxify all that junk that they put in those medications, it would be just as toxic to you.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, now the next one that I want to talk about is peppermint, and then I'm going to add lavender to it. One thing that I want to say about peppermint and lavender. So, when I first started using essential oils, I mixed lavender and peppermint, and I just kept it a jar. So, this jar, even though it would say peppermint on it, half of it would be lavender, and I kept it separate. Like I had it labeled that way. So, it was already mixed half and half, lavender and peppermint. And when I had a headache, especially when I was going through menopause, I would get severe migraines. And I don't know if anybody has suffered from those, but they're not fun. And then when my daughter was pregnant with her first, she said, "Mom, I can't do that. I'm going to get a headache. If I do that, I'm going to get a headache." I said, "Honey, don't worry about it. Just use this lavender and peppermint on your head." She goes, "All right, whatever." And so she puts it on her head and she goes to bed. She said, "I want some of that stuff. Next day, I want some of that stuff to take home," because her headache was gone that quick. So one time, another experience that I had, somebody using peppermint and lavender. I was at the nurse's station, and one of the doctors was complaining about having a headache, and I said, "Come on, come here, come here." And he goes, "What?" I go, "Come here, I got something for you." And I took him into the break room, and I got my bag out, and I said, "Here, just touch this on the spots where you have your headache." So he goes, "What is this?" I go, "Just do it, just do it. Trust me, you're going to be good in a few minutes." So he's like, "All right, whatever." And he's touching his temple and everything. And about 15 minutes later, I was at the nurse's station. He comes out of a patient's room, and he says, "Hey, listen, you know that oil that I was in there poo-pooing?" He said, "I can't believe how that worked. My headache is all gone." Praise God. See, it is amazing that how the peppermint and lavender works.
You can buy them already mixed?
No, I mixed them myself.
You're buying something pure, so you're buying just
Right, okay.
one oil.
Yeah. What I did was I have these little medicine cups, so I took half of it, like dumped out the peppermint, half of the peppermint into it, and then I took the lavender, dumped it into the peppermint, and then the peppermint that was in my medicine cup I put into the lavender. So then I had two bottles, and then I kept them labeled, and they did not go to waste. And I've done that several times, and I keep my kids supplied with that concoction because it.
I'll let you know that Megan is allergic to lavender, so it's just like anything else. There's going to be some of these things that work for you, and there's going to be some of the things that don't. That's why so many of them have the same properties. Tea tree oil, what she's saying about oregano is true, and tea tree oil has a lot of those same properties. It's like, how many blood pressure medicines are there? Because one may work for somebody, but another one's going to work for another person. So it's the same with essential oils. Some will work for some people and some won't. So be aware. Don't poo-poo essential oils because you might try one and it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Because there's another one that might.
Right. Find the one that works for you. Then anyway, peppermint can also it boosts focus. It boosts your focus. It reduces nausea. It freshens the air. Lavender can be used for relaxation and better sleep. Sometimes I've made a concoction before with some lavender in it and probably some other oils as well in a spray bottle, and sprayed it on the pillow, and it just helps to the aromatic properties help you to relax and sleep well. You can do that kind of stuff. And I've also put it in my bath water, lavender, and I've put peppermint in my bath water too. Now, peppermint's, a little bit of a hot oil in that way because it's, like using icy hot. But I have put it in my bath, and lavender also. It's just...
It sounds like what she's saying. It might be a good idea if you're a student to put peppermint on your, like when you're testing, and then have that aroma constantly while you're taking a test.
That another thing is you mentioned earlier rosemary. Rosemary is a good one also for concentration. Yeah. Rosemary is, and Rosemary will help you to stay focused, and it helps your memory. And rosemary is a big one that they recommend for learning, for helping you to be able to stay focused to when you're learning.
Maybe you should think about offering it to people as they come into church. So we don't miss what God's trying to say.
Somebody suggested offering it to the people that come into church so that they can remember what's going on.
And you can take the rosemary, take internally.
Rosemary, I mean, you could rosemary's an herb, yeah.
Oh, you just put it behind you.
Yeah, but you could, I'm sure that you could use rosemary, and you can ingest it because it's just like oregano. It's an herb that we find in our spaghetti sauce sometimes. So yeah. Did you have a question, Sunita? Oh, okay, I thought you did. Okay. Next, essential oil, because I could just keep talking, I guess. I didn't realize I was going to say so much. But, get me up here, and, What's that?
One thing on the rosemary, when you put it behind your ears, do you use the carrier oil with it too, or
I
just
don't.
directly? Oh.
I mean, she's
You-
reading that you should use carrier oils with. I'm going to be honest with you. I seldom have used a carrier oil with an essential oil.
Yeah, same. I do not use carrier oils with all of the essential oils. For me personally,
I
the
do when I use the copiaba and the peppermint on my shoulder, but it's for the purpose of being able to spread it farther. Not
Yeah.
because I'm trying to dilute it. I just do it so I can spread it farther.
and for sure I dilute oregano. Now, I do have this wart here that I apply it to. I'm not consistent, but I want to get rid of this wart with the oregano, and I just put it on there directly. I don't dilute it. I just touch the bottle there.
When I was in
What's that? Well, I had one on this elbow and it went away, so I'm trying to get this one to go away too.
When I was in high school, I had a wart on the top of my foot, and it was back in the days when a lot of the shoes that we wore had straps across the top, and it hurt all the time. And I got up and we never went to the doctor as a kid. So I thought, well, I got to come up with something. So I crawled up on a chair and I went up in the cupboard above the refrigerator, which was where my mom kept all the stuff. And the only thing I found in there was castor oil. And I thought, well, Grandma used to make me drink it. It's got to be good for something. So I started taking a cotton ball, saturating it in castor oil, put it on that wart, and just changed it, in the morning and at night. I changed it. 2 weeks, the wart was gone. That was just castor oil. So
And castor oil and what? That was
just
it? Just
castor oil.
on your wart on top of your foot?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to listen to you.
Castor oil great for anything skin related.
Yeah. Okay. Next oil is lemon. Lemon, it can be used on skin for brightening or acne. You can use it in, I use lemon oil in my laundry because I don't use over-the-counter detergents. I only use Norwex detergent because it's a more pure detergent. But I use, and you only need a teaspoon of the detergent. I put it in my washer, and then I sprinkle some lemon oil on top of it. I've gotten my daughter to where she uses that too. That's all she uses.
And one of the reasons I use it is because, Jim works enough that he's sweating all the time, and a lot of times the clothes, you wash them and they just don't smell clean. And I've just gotten into a habit whenever I wash his clothes, I put the Norwex in. I have a Norwex boost that I put in, and I always put drops of lemon oil.
Spell it.
Norwex? I sell it. If you want it. Nor. She sells it too. Wex. She sells it and I sell it. But you know what? Get it from her because I still make money. Yeah. So if you want the Norwex detergent, get it from Karen. Talk to Karen. Vinegar. It goes a long way. Vinegar. Vinegar is what I use for the fabric softener. I put vinegar in my fabric softener dispenser.
White vinegar?
White vinegar. Okay. White vinegar. Just kind of helps cleanse everything. Yep. That's what I do. So I don't. Maybe that's why my kids say I smell, because I put the lemon oil, because they're like, Mom. So my kids, they went away for the weekend, and I was at their house watching their kids, and they came home and they go, "Boy, the house smells like Gran." I go, "What do you mean it smells like Gran? I didn't even use any oil since I've been here." I go, "It smells like you, Gran." Okay.
And that's another thing about DMSO. It'll give you the smell of garlic.
Yeah.
Use it a lot.
Yeah. 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 So now another another thing that I like about a lemon oil is, when people use the Goo Gone to get glue off of, sticky stuff off, I swear by a lemon oil. Now, I've used the other oils if I've not had lemon oil with me, but lemon oil seems to be the best. So you get as much off as you can of the sticky, and then you take a cotton ball, put some oil on the cotton ball, and just start spreading from the outer edge to the middle. And all that sticky, it just comes up, and then you just pick it up. You just pick up the sticky and then put more lemon on there to clean up the space. And it just works great to remove stickers, glues, that kind of stuff from different products. So that's one of the things that I like about lemon. Like I said too, I put it in my laundry, I put it in my water, put a few drops in my water, and drink it. And it kind of helps clean out the kidneys. It kind of flushes the kidneys when you put some of the lemon oil in your water. You want to use stainless steel or glass, preferably, over plastic, when you're using essential oils in something. Tea tree oil. It can also be used.
Oil.
Yes, tea tree oil is a super oil. It really is. Let Karen talk about tea tree.
If you can come up with this, this is on charcoal, but I was going to say that about charcoal. If you can find this book, when I bought it, they said it was the last one and it was out of print. So if you can find this book, this will tell you a lot about what charcoal can do also. But tea tree oil is the oil that I think every home should have. And I have tea tree oil in my kitchen cabinet right next to my stove and in all my bathrooms. Well, I got two. Makes it sound like I live in a mansion, doesn't it? Yeah. But if I'm taking something out of the stove and I bump my hand or something, you get that tea tree oil, you put that on there right away. Don't mix it with a carrier oil. Just put it right on there, and you can go wash your dishes in the hottest water you can find. And it will not blister, it will not do anything. It takes the fire right out of it immediately. Mm-hmm. Excellent stuff.
Melaleuca, right?
That's what this is.
Yes.
That's what this is.
It's the same.
Melaleuca is just the company.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Melaleuca is the see right here.
Oh, must be the scientific name for it.
Correct. Melaleuca is the tree, the plant name, but people have called it tea tree, so that's why sometimes people get mixed up. But it is one and the same.
It grows like aloe. It's the same kind of looking plant as an aloe plant. But it's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-yeast. It's anti-everything. Excellent. I've applied it to private areas. Little burning. Yeah. Little burning, but especially for women.
Yes.
It really helps with itch or anything you might have there.
Yes, I told
I would think the same would be true for men with jock itch.
Correct. That is correct. Correct. I told my gynecologist that I was using it, and he said, "What?" And I go, "Yep," and I can tell you it helps. He goes, "Oh, that's good to know." So he's going to tell people.
So
actually, no, that was my urologist, because I have interstitial cystitis like Karen. But anyway, yeah, tea tree oil it's almost like oregano. It's just one of those
You gotta have it.
Yes, you have to have it.
It's kind of like golden seal. Everybody should have some golden seal in your home also. It's hard to come by. Jean Martin gave me a site, and I have it written down somewhere where you can purchase some. Several years ago when I purchased all these, it was impossible to get golden seal because it was over-harvested. It grows in woods and so forth, and it had become so over-harvested that you couldn't find it. Well, now people are growing it in their herb gardens and so forth, so it is now available again. And the same with usnea. Usnea is a plant that grows when you see the pictures of trees in Florida and they have that webby stuff that comes down, that's what usnea looks like. That isn't usnea, that's moss. But that's the same kind of thing that usnea looks like. And what I find is that there are people now in the United States that are growing usnea on like rotted logs and so forth. That's what feeds it. So that is available too. And I think everybody should have usnea too. I need to get some. USNEA. And it has some cautions with it, but again, if you listen to some of the videos of damage gessultion, you're going to hear some amazing stuff that it does.
With the tea tree, I said you don't have to dilute that one.
I don't when I use it on specific areas.
You know, I would be curious to compare this Melaleuca oil to my Melaleuca oil. Just because I don't know if this has a carrier in it.
I don't think so.
Found to contain what?
Dilute with carrier oil.
It says dilute with carrier
so it must
oil.
not be. I know when I purchase it, it has a yes, see, it has this T36C5.
Mm-hmm.
That's the potency. So it's 36 terpenine. So.
Yeah, this just says Melaleuca tea leaf oil. It's
yeah. So
anyway.
I'm not sure.
They're both. I do think that this is a good company. The Melaleuca oil. They started this program years ago, and they make Melaleuca in toothpaste. They make it in shampoo. They make it in body soap. You can, from this company that Karen gets this from, you can get a lot of products that have Melaleuca in it because it has so many medicinal properties. Like I said, it's like oregano. It's a good one to have. Tea tree and oregano are the two main things that.
And if you're prone to headaches, have peppermint.
Yes. Yes.
And if you can tolerate lavender, get that too.
Yes.
So for the peppermint for headaches, you just put it directly on there, just a little
I
bit,
do.
just a drop.
I just put it on my finger and I just rub it on my temples. And if Megan's having one of her really bad headaches, I just go like that.
And the tea tree oil, again, you said you've used it without diluting it or putting a carrier in it? But it says to.
The only oils that I've ever diluted are the ones that I was using for massage. And this is the first I've heard that you're supposed to dilute them. And the only reason I was using it with massage, like I said, was so that it would spread farther. So it would give it more spread. I understand what I personally.
It's just to cover themselves.
This is my personal opinion. I think that caution is there.
Say that again, what you said about.
The only time I've used it with carrier oil is because I want to spread it in a larger area. I think sometimes those cautions there that say that you should always use it with a carrier oil, they're there for the same reason that it says consult your physician before you use blah, blah, blah. It's to save lawsuit kind of issue. I have not had anything other than, I don't use a lot of oregano, and that's, for me, it's the smell is irritating to me. It's not because I don't believe in it or anything, but if I used oregano, I would probably use a carrier oil just to kind of dilute it a little bit because I don't want to smell like spaghetti sauce. But anything else I don't dilute unless I'm going to be, like I said, using it in a large area and I want to make sure it spreads well.
Yeah. For me, I don't care if I smell like spaghetti sauce. So if you guys ever smell me and I smell like spaghetti sauce, you can say, oh, Glory must be feeling a little sick. And she's trying to prevent it. So you'll know. Because I don't care. So, okay, now another oil that I want to talk about is copaiba. Is that how you say that?
I say copiaba.
Copiaba? Copiaba. I don't know how to say it either, but it's spelled Copaiba. Now, what is the product called in marijuana that they use for medicinally? What's THC? Is that what they use? Right? That's what they're using for, because it's supposed to hit pain receptors. Something about the THC is supposed to hit pain receptors. Okay? But the pain receptors that they hit are not as effective as how these ones hit. This is a product that is comparable to THC, but it's not. It's not. What's that?
It's not illegal.
Well, not only is it not illegal, it also doesn't alter any. It doesn't alter anything mentally. It doesn't alter anything in you. It hits. How is it saying it?
It says it's pronounced Copiba.
Copiva. It selectively binds to CB2 receptors in the endocannabinoid system, a signaling and regulating system comprised of enzymes, receptor sites throughout the body, and endocannabinoids produced by the body. So they're found widely in the body and all major organs. The ECS acts as a major regulator of human health. So there's a lot more information here, but anyway, that is the purpose of this. It is used for calming. It reduces anxiety. It can also be used for the respiratory system. It also works for the immune system. It works for pain, inflammation. Didn't you say you use it on your shoulder for inflammation? Good for sensitive skin. What's that?
I've also used it on my low back.
On your lower back. Okay. All right. So, general.
Is that ingestible though? Like
Yes,
THC?
it is. It is ingestible. You can buy it already in capsules, or you can put a couple in. You can put a couple drops in capsules. You could put a drop of this in a glass of water and drink it. Yeah, one drop. You can put 1 or 2 drops in a glass of water and drink it, and it's going to give you relief from, pain, muscle aches, that kind of stuff internally. It's going to work internally, kind of like an aspirin or, like Advil, if you will. Or Tylenol, right.
Oh, by the way, just wanted to correct myself on something.
Yes.
There's two
Yes.
components of marijuana. THC,
Yes.
the psychoactive one.
Right, okay.
It does have some health properties. CBD.
CBD, that's it. I knew it was something. CBD. And that's what this compares to. This compares to the CBD. This compares to the CBD working on the pain receptors more effectively because it works longer, that kind of. Randy, did you have a question?
I was just thinking,
So I'm not recommending THC.
No, no THC, just CBD.
when you said that, I was thinking
The
there must be
copapaya.
something else in there because the THC is what gets you the high.
Right. Okay. So now it says, I have some suggestions here on this paper. I'm gonna pass these out for you guys. It just gives some safe external uses, skin soothing. It gives some recipes, like 2 drops of tea tree, 1 drop of lavender, 1 drop of lemon. Put it in a carrier oil, you mix it, and you can use once or twice daily. So it's supposed to, help with skin spots or acne. But anyway, it has some recipes on here for a lot of different suggestions. And then some safe internal uses for oregano oil, peppermint, lemon, copaya. Safe internal use, some more recipes, yeah. So anyway, that's what that paper is. And then I also printed these off because these just have some general suggestions. So lemon, cleanse, gentle detox, it's a degreaser. Lavender, calming, skin soothing, sleep. Peppermint, cooling, digestion, head tension. Melaleuca, all things skin. It's a gentle immunity. Oregano, big guns immunity. Skin tags. So that's what it says for the oils that I brought here. There are some blends that also are used. Let me see if this gives something. If this gives something a little different. Great for lavender. Great for skin, bug bites, sunburn, relaxing and calming. Peppermint clears the sinuses. Good for headaches and digestion. Lemon, fresh and uplifting. Great daily cleansing support. Melaleuca, great for cuts and scrapes, keeps nits away. Oregano, it's nature's antibiotic, and I would agree with that. There are some other blends there. On Guard, I want to mention these On Guard beads. On Guard it's a blend of wild orange, clove, cinnamon leaf, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And it's in a little tiny bead. And I turned off the, told you not to turn it off, and I turned it off. Let me just read the product description here. doTERRA On Guard beadlets are an easy and convenient way to obtain the immune-supporting benefits of doTERRA On Guard Protective Blend. The beadlets provide a flavorful dose of the doTERRA On Guard Propriety Blend of wild orange, clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. The tiny vegetable beadlets are easy to use and perfect for children and others who might not be able to take a whole doTERRA On Guard soft gel. They dissolve in the mouth quickly and provide a fresh burst of flavor. Keep a vial in your purse, briefcase, backpack, or desk so they're handy whenever and wherever you need them. They're ideal addition to your family's health routine. And some of the uses. Used as a part of a healthy immune system support plan. Dissolve 1 to 2 beadlets in your mouth to freshen breath. Keep handy in a purse, pocket, or backpack to use anytime. Okay, so I thought that it would give me a little more information, but anyway, there's the little beadlets, and you just put one of these in your mouth, pop it, and let the oils, just release and just go around in your mouth and down your throat, and it has medicinal properties. So Tom has found that these help him when he's starting to feel like he's getting sick. Like I said, the oregano, you can rub it all over you, but these beadlets work as well. So yeah, I'm just thinking, what would I compare them to? Oregano. They still work well. I just like the oregano. I just really like the oregano. But there are times that I'm just feeling like, you know what, I'm feeling a little like run down a little bit, so I'll just pop a bead in my mouth because it has those oils that I just mentioned, and it just kind of gives you a boost of energy of, feeling a little better.
Is there one for energy?
Yeah. Food.
Is there one for energy? I would say peppermint. I would say that peppermint is going to lift you. Yeah.
Take whatever Glory's taking.
Take whatever Glory's taking. I don't know if that'll work.
You mentioned clove in those beads, and I know clove is very good. A lot of people use clove when they brush their teeth.
Yeah.
Talk about clove
Oh.
and toothbrushing. You talk
Yeah.
about clothing.
Oh, clove. She wants me to talk about clove. So it's true. Clove is good for to use for toothaches. For just put it on your toothbrush and mix it in with your toothpaste, and it helps for dental issues, gum issues. I also have here On Guard toothpaste packets for you guys to sample if you want. And again, it includes the same ingredients, and it just helps to doesn't have any what is it that they put in the water.
Fluoride.
Fluoride, thank you. Doesn't have any fluoride added to it. But there's another ingredient that my dentist looked at and said that it's like it does the same thing as fluoride without it being fluoride, and that has that in here. I don't remember what that ingredient is. But anyway, so I have these. These are samples. You guys could just take one of these if you want.
Figure out what the ingredient is.
It's right here. It's just the same. Oh no, I'd have to look that up. That yeah,
No,
I
it
can.
doesn't have it on
It doesn't have it on that. Mm-mm. No. It's doTERRA On Guard toothpaste. The ingredients are they say glycerin, water, the oils, hydroxy apatite or something. I think that's the one that it is. It's this one right here. It's that right there, I think, is what the,
Oxypatite?
I think that's the one that she told me.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's the deal. Questions? Anybody got any questions?
Kind of throwing a lot at you.
I know, I did. I threw a lot at you. I didn't think I was going to have that much to talk about.
We'll have all the papers to refer to.
What's that?
We'll have all these papers.
All the papers to refer to, right? Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
I have a paper here now. For those of you that have my blue folder, that you came to the meeting a couple of years ago, and you have that blue folder, you have this in that folder, so you don't need to take one of these. But this tells you all these different extracts and what they do in a microcosm, both sides.
Okay.
And if you learn or want to know something about another essential oil, you can ask me, and I can look it up, and we can go from there. Pastor?
Yeah, my question is when you're thinking of doing it again, because I think there's a lot of people in the community who would like to. It's amazing what knowledge. I mean, I knew you knew something about these things. I didn't realize you knew so much. You've got so much experience of using it. So I think a lot of people would like to hear this.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know much, to be honest. Do you probably feel the same way?
Yes.
Yeah, we both feel like we're just kind of up here winging it.
Well, maybe God's giving
We
you a
prefer
gift.
to wing.
Right.
If you've been given a gift of knowledge, then it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like a gift to you. You just think it's normal. But to
Well, I
people
think
listening to it, it's not
knowing,
normal.
I think having some medical knowledge helps because
Yeah.
you have you know when it tells you that it's an anti-inflammatory, what all does that mean? It's decreasing swelling in the muscle, it's decreasing the amount of electrolytes that are coming there and irritating the muscle and the tendon. So all that stuff is part of having some medical knowledge.
That probably helps you learn it quickly because you can associate
Yeah.
it with
Yes.
medical knowledge and yeah.
It's like you can see it and how it works.
Yeah, I don't know if my nursing helps me think the way she thinks, but
I think Jim had it.
Jim,
That's good to drink.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Black seed
Flaxseed.
oil.
Black seed,
Black
seed,
oil.
black seed,
Black
seed,
oil.
black seed oil.
Yeah.
Never heard of it, but I can
What
research
do you
it.
use it for?
I've got some. I've had it for a long time. I don't know.
So you have some black seed oil, but you don't know how to use it. Okay, I can research that and see what I can come up with for you. But in answer to your question, Pastor, we do plan on every month doing something starting January, and we're starting January with Randy. Is going to share some things with us on.
Creating a go bag that you keep in your car, so that especially if you're in the wilderness or whatever, how you know how to find fresh water and that kind of thing. So
But we're going to repeat this. Like, in other words, we're going to go back around. We're going to do the fomentations again. We're going to do the hot foot baths again, the Russian steam baths again. We're going to do everything again. We're just going to kind of keep recycling it because, just as you said, I mean, even you guys coming here, you're learning things, but the next time that we had this, you might learn something new because there is so much information, and we might learn something new just preparing for
Well,
it.
there's that. But I think, yeah, we could all invite, I think everyone on the team would see it's worth inviting people.
Inviting people, right.
And one of the other ones that I've been thinking about doing, and I mentioned to Glory sometime next year, would be for women only. Because there are so many things, and in all honesty, I talked to my general practitioner Friday because I had to go into the doctor, and I was telling her I was thinking about this because there are a lot of things, especially us women as we age, that we don't really talk about changes that are going on and what we can do to fend off those changes or treat the issue as it's before it gets out of control. Because with any of these natural remedies, when you're using a natural remedy, that's what it is, a remedy. It's trying to keep you from getting out of control. But there are times, for instance, I'm going to look at like a urinary tract infection. If you're not on top of that urinary tract infection when it first starts, and start with using some of the oregano or something else to help treat that immediately, cranberry. Have cranberry, especially if you're prone to urinary tract infections. What's going to happen is that bacteria and that yeast is going to hypergrow. And at that point, you do need an antibiotic. So it's not that we're saying these are things you don't need, don't ever think you have to use them, or I'm failing if I'm not using something natural. God gave man the knowledge to distill these different medications. The idea is, though, that we shouldn't count on them. If we can do something to keep us from getting to the situation where you need something bigger. I had an experience when I worked for the doctors that I worked for. One of them was a GI doctor. And his patient came out to check out with me, and she said, "Oh, I forgot to ask him if there's something I should eliminate from my diet," because she was treating an ulcer and so forth. And I said, "Well, let me go back and ask his technician." So I went back and I asked her, and she said, "Oh, the pill will take care of everything." Well, if there's something you're eating that's irritating you, isn't it better to stop doing that than to fill your body with a chemical? So that's what I'm saying, is that somewhere along the line we've distanced away from man's medicine and God's medicine, and realizing that the knowledge that man has comes from God. He gave it to them, but we've become so reliant on man that we've forgotten to use the remedies that keep us from getting ill.
I was listening to a lecture on one of our channels the other day.
Yeah, here. You want to?
I was listening to a lecture from a doctor the other day. He was talking about the prescription drugs that are out there. And he said that every year in this country alone, 100,000 people die from using the correct medicine. They didn't give them the wrong medicine, they gave them the right medicine, but they were killed by side effects from the medicines. Whereas I've heard some people say, well, they have to tell you that just because, to cover themselves, but it hardly ever happens. Well, every year about 100,000 people die from using the medicines that they've been prescribed.
So in that case, it is better to try to nip right away whatever symptoms you have with some of these natural remedies, because as Karen said, we're trying to remedy the issue before it gets out of control, so that we can avoid using those those pharmaceutical meds. Pastor?
Yeah, just following what we said, it's also a good thing to remember. There are potential negative effects of misusing these.
Yes.
Right, there's potential.
Just because there are, we should remind people, well, yeah, if you use them correctly, there shouldn't be any.
Correct. There's potential negative effects of using these, is what he's saying. But yeah, comparing it to the alternative, this is still better. Yes. Yes.
And the truth is, it's up to you to educate yourself.
Right.
And that's even when you're dealing with your medical doctor. A lot of people think, well, my medical doctor says blah, 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 so I don't have to. Well, what do we teach people about Scripture? Should they just listen to the guy up front and run their Christian lives by what that person up there is saying, or should they be studying the scriptures for themselves?
Right.
Well, this same is true with all this medicinal stuff, is us learning what is an edible, what is a medicinal, what is
Right.
what is something that can keep me from having an issue. Because I have interstitial cystitis, and I know because Glory does too, I take cranberry tablets every day. And
Same.
that's to keep the pH in my body where it needs to be.
Try to
Because
be balanced.
when you have interstitial cystitis, it's this is how my urologist explained it to me. It's like when you go out in the woods and you've made a fire because you're camping. And when you go to put that fire out so it doesn't burn the woods down, and you put some water on it, and there's a few embers that are still smoking, that's what interstitial cystitis is in a bladder.
Yeah.
It's always just smoldering there, waiting
Yeah.
for enough bacteria to build up to
Yeah.
go to a full-blown UTI.
Yeah, and I was also described it to be like when a balloon blows up. That's what happens inside of our bladder. It blows up with when it's with urine, but the inside of that balloon is cracked and sore, and that's what causes a lot of pain. It causes a lot of pain. So anyway.
Yeah, and when it gets irritated like
Yes.
that and the bacteria grows, then you're in a full-blown infection that needs
Right.
help. And so that's what you're trying to ward that off. And the reason cranberry works is because its pH is a base rather than an alkaline, or it's alkaline rather than an acid. So it's alkalinizing the bladder and keeping it from growing bacteria, because bacteria like an acidic environment.
Okay, so we did say that when we started these that we were going to probably do poultices each time, but we're not doing poultices today. We got too much going on here. But I did do some research, and I do have a paper here that has different types of poultices and different uses for them. So, we shared with you charcoal poultice, we've shared with you onion poultice, and we shared with you Epsom salt, and there was another.
Potato. You mentioned
I
Potato,
mentioned
yeah.
potato. I think, yeah, I brought it. I did. I had potato one time. So there are different types of poultices, and so I did some research, but although potato is not on this, but there are different types of poultices and what their use is for and how to use them, how to make them. So I have this to pass out, and we will
And so
still
you know
talk.
there's a mustard poultice on there, and that's not Frisch's mustard, okay? It's mustard seed.
Right, right.
So don't
It's-
go home and go, you think you're going to get over your respiratory infection, because it's not going to work.
So, all right. Well, anyway, I think we're going to close.
The only other thing I have is be sure to take some of the cards for our October evangelistic thing. And I very quickly yesterday made these. There's just a few here, and I'll give them to you. And it's just to remind you about our Thanksgiving social that we're going to be having the first weekend in November.
Yeah.
And that'll be our last health thing for the year, because we're going to be entering the holidays, and everybody's going to be running here and there and everywhere. So I will give one of these to you guys, and I will come up with a better one for us to use to distribute to friends and relatives and so forth.
Okay. So,
Any questions?
any questions? Any questions? And if no questions, then we'll close with prayer.
Yeah, I have a question, but it'll be afterwards when I want to ask it.
It took me 5 minutes.
Better than I could do in 5 minutes. That would take me 5 hours.
We're not telling the public about this one, this is just for us.
This is mainly a church
Um,
thing, although
it's-
it's not, but it's a good question.
I
About
do.
church.
My husband's niece was planning on coming today with her 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And when I say my husband's niece, she's 3 years older than I am. So her daughters were going to come also. They're in their 50s. So it's kind of weird when you talk about my husband's family. But they planned on coming today, and I do plan on inviting them to this, because
Yeah.
they're very interested in oils and healthy stuff. They're dealing with some sickness right now. I will tell you that Ginger, the niece, has had shingles after she came to our first one, and she hasn't been to one since because she developed shingles. And she called me about it. I immediately took her over an aloe plant. I told her to be putting that on there. And I've since given her some frankincense and so forth to use because she's having post-herpetic neuralgia from it. And that's what she's just been using essential oils and so forth to treat it. So she's a great advertising for that. She tells everybody about it. So
yeah. But I would say to invite
Yeah.
people to this.
Yes.
We'll just have to find a way keeping track of the numbers because there's food, isn't there, for this? But,
Yeah, God bless.
God bless.
God bless.
If
God
you're
bless.
going to be helping us with food, what I would say is just remember, this isn't going to be for,
Like,
we're
don't,
not
you know,
planning on
like,
20 people.
little
We're
tiny
hoping
dish
for
isn't going to
60.
cut it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little tiny dish isn't going to cut it. We need a big dish.
Yes. She and I are planning on making loaf pans like the ones that Danny used to do all the time.
That's fair enough. If you're inviting people, keep it in mind when you
Right.
bring in food.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
But,
So,
it'd be nice to have some visitors. Yeah.
all right. Well, then, if there's nothing else, we can have prayer.
Close with prayer, and you guys can come up and
Yeah.
see anything you'd
And
be
then you can
interested in.
turn off the recording.
She has prices for her essential oils, and like I said, mine would just be donation. If you don't have any money with you today and there's something you want, don't let that hinder you from getting what you want.
Same with me. With me. Just talk to me. If you want something and you can't afford it, talk to me.
Yes, because just understand that this all costs us something,
Yeah.
but we're not in it to make a bunch of money on it.
Right.
Okay.
So, all
Did you
right.
wanna,
Yeah,
close in
I'll
prayer?
close. I'll close with prayer. Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this privilege and opportunity to gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the things that you have given us to remedy ourselves and to gain healing. And Father, we just pray that you let your Holy Spirit be with us, that we will continue to learn, we will continue to apply, and we will continue to share with others the things that we learn. Let your name be honored and glorified through all of this. We know, Father, there's going to be a day soon that these remedies are going to be more beneficial than what mainstream has to offer. We thank you for putting it on our hearts to learn this stuff and to draw closer to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.